On today's video, I'll be answering the question, what's the cost of living in Russia as an international student? So I did little research, and the cost of living in Russia is generally lower than you would in any other Western countries, especially for international students. And keep in mind, this really depends on the kind of city or what city you're living in Russia. So Moscow is typically more expensive than any other city because it's the capital city, and also St. Petersburg. Okay, but if you go to the outskirts of Russia, you will find out that there are cheaper places, cheaper cities you can live in. I divided the expenses and categories into groups, and we will start with accommodation. The monthly cost of accommodation runs from 2,800 rubles to 50,000 rubles. Now, this depends on the kind of lifestyle you want to live when you come into Russia. So if you're living in a hostel, in a dormitory, your accommodation is way cheaper. But if you want to go into an apartment, the cost of living will be way higher because renting an apartment is higher, typically higher than, staying in a hostel or in a dormitory. I've stayed in both, so I can speak on both. Okay, I've stayed in an apartment before, and I am currently in a hostel at the moment. So I stayed in a hostel, then an apartment, then back into the hostel. I'll put down the amounts in dollars on the screen for each amount I will be talking about in this video. Keep in mind that these amounts are of June 2025. Food and groceries, I don't think it's a one amount fits all, because this will depend on your diet, this will depend on what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat, your choices, your options, and your eating habits and lifestyle in general. So I wouldn't put it in a box. Typically, the range of groceries and food ranges from 5,500 rubles to 16,000 rubles. But the safe net that was recommended by my university as of 2025 is 7,500 rubles for food. Okay, that's for food. Keep in mind that cooking at home is more economical than eating out. So I had to cut down extremely on eating out, buying things, whilst I'm outside. So I'd cook, then carry lunch to class, and so on and so forth. So you have to keep this in mind, especially if you want to live on a budget, or you're saving, or you're working on your finances, that area of your life. So keep that in mind. For transportation, I would advise you, if you're a student, to get the student metro card or a social card. So the social card generally offers a lower tariff, monthly tariff for transportation in the metro and buses. Now the price as of June 2025 is close to 900 rubles, and is really affordable if you're looking at a monthly cost, if you get what I'm saying. But if you don't have a metro card, that means you have to pay the Troika card, and the Troika card usually offers a monthly rate of 3,000 rubles. So I always advise that when you come, you apply for a social card. This social card will help you in the grocery store. You could get a discount there. It will help you in transportations and other restaurants, other places which offer student discounts. You can just show them your social card, or you can show them your student card. This will, help you with that discount. Let's go into utilities. So for utilities in the dorms, and if you're renting an apartment somewhere else, they usually run from 4,000 rubles to 10,000 rubles. That ranges from, your mobile bill, your water bills, light bills, like every bill inclusive, every utility. That's like the range. For entertainment, this varies with your lifestyle. So it ranges from 1,800 to 5,000 rubles. And well, if you want to go out, explore the city, you go to the theater, whatever entertainment, you go to the park and you have to pay an extra fee, and so on and so forth. Just, save up this money. But if you're a student, like, to be really hard for you to like go out. Well, it depends on your schedule and the like, and so keep all this in mind. For personal expenses, that is like clothing, hygiene, and the like, usually ranges from 2,500 to 5,000. So this really depends on your skincare routine, your hygiene routines, and so on. The total estimated monthly cost usually runs from 15,000 rubles to 30,000 rubles, which is approximately 200 USD to 300 USD as of June 2025. Keep in mind that this can be higher and is higher in Moscow and St. Petersburg. Let's move on more into details with the accommodation. University dormitories are the most affordable and popular options, which run from 1,500 rubles to 5,000 rubles. Now, this all depends on the university you're in, because when I was in Ruden University, there was a hostel. We only paid 1,000 rubles, but then, the facilities, like, what are they offering? Their bathrooms, how many people in a room, like all those nitty gritties. You get what I'm saying? But when I moved to the university I'm now in, financial university, were the two of us, and in one room. The next room, there are three, so 5 of us in a block. We share a bathroom and a toilet. So, like, you get what I'm saying? But for an apartment, I stayed in an apartment as well. The apartment was 50,000 rubles, and we shared the place, the 3 of us, and we shared the rent and utility bills, and that was up to, let's just say, 17,000 rubles each person per month. So there's that as well. So if you want to move into an apartment, it usually runs from 20,000 to 50,000 rubles per month. Like, this is like the cheapest options. If you're staying alone, you want just a small studio where there's like a bed, a bathroom, and like a small kitchen, there are options that are available. Keep in mind, in Moscow, they can even go to 80,000 rubles, depending on the size, how recent it was built, how modern it is, and the like. Now, let's move on to food. Cooking at home typically ranges from 8,000 rubles to 20,000 rubles per month, depending on your lifestyle and eating habits. But the safe spot, like I said earlier, for your food basket is 7,500. So me saying 8,000 is me rounding it off. Like, if you want to really eat healthy, get all the essentials, the spices and stuff, 8,000 is like the safest food basket amount I could give to you today as of June 2025. But again, this also depends on your region. I'm speaking for Moscow region. And this is like cooking at home, not going out to eat. This is not involved, okay? It's just home food per month. Now, if you're eating out, for example, there are two kinds of restaurants, I would say, in my university. We have the Stolovaya and the buffet. Now, for the Stolovaya, the prices are usually cheaper because you get a standard meal that is a protein, a carbohydrate, a vegetable, and a drink in an amount of 300 rubles. It usually starts from 300 rubles to 600 rubles. But if you go to the buffet, the prices are usually higher, and you usually just get a snack, a sandwich, a drink at the same price you would get like a meal, like a good meal from. For public transport, if you want something cheaper, I would advise you get a social card. Now, the social card offers you a very good discount of 800 rubles where you pay for a whole month, and that's paying for the metro and the bus. But if you just use your Troika card, that would, cost a little bit more. Okay, it will cost more. Now, for utilities and internet, this might depend. For an apartment, there's a specific, router in the apartment, and you just have to pay like once a month for that specific, month. And then you have to pay for water and for light. That's if you're in an apartment. But for the hostels or dormitories, these fees are usually included in the rent. So I wouldn't really separate them from each other. Now, for internet and mobile fees, they usually range from 500 rubles to 900 or even 1,000 rubles as of 2025. I pay 900 rubles per month for my internet and calls, tariff. The tariff. This is for unlimited mobile data. I'm on the internet every day, not even almost every day. I'm on the internet every day. I'm content creating, but there is free Wi-Fi. But in the metro, you can access Wi-Fi. In the bus, you can access Wi-Fi. In the dormitory, university, you can access Wi-Fi. But at times, the Wi-Fi is not as fast as your personal mobile data, and it's just like way easier to use your own data just in case anything happens to the other sources or the Wi-Fi around you. Now, other expenses, at number one, we have medical insurance, which is mandatory for international students. You have to do medicals every year. Now, the cost of medicals depends on the university you are at. Medicals usually run from 5,000 rubles to 20,000 rubles. Now it's 18,000 rubles at Ruden. But for financial university, we pay 8,500 rubles as of June 2025. Yeah, so there's that. Now, for entertainment and sports, if you would like to go to the gym and stuff like that, your social card could give you, and student card could give you a discount. And this depends on what sports facility you're going to or gym you'll be going to. And so I wouldn't put like a fixed amount. So I'll give you a range from 1,800 rubles to 5,000 rubles, depending on what you're looking for and going for. For personal items, I'll give you a range of 2,800 to 5,000 rubles per month. So Moscow and St. Petersburg, like I have already been mentioning throughout this video, are typically higher in cost of living than any other city in Russia. So just do your research on whether you would really like to stay in Moscow or you're okay with staying in any other city apart from Moscow. Just to make sure that, you know, you can sustain your life. An annual estimation of like the cost of living for an international student an academic year can run from 2,000 USD to 2,500 USD. This is minus the tuition fee. Keep that in mind. So this was all for today. I will just end here, and if you have any other question concerning this particular topic, be sure to write it down in the comments section. In my other video, I will take you guys on a grocery shopping spree, I guess, just to show you how much I spent and what a particular amount can get me for a month. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in my next one.